and Leona over here, and Zaya and Victor over here, thinking, well, what do we do now?
Yeah, might just be one problem that MB Esports has to solve themselves in this game as Sanma, yeah, you just now addressed it, right? I mean, he can't just engage too far away. Victor and Zaya really just more want to have this close range combat, but I actually agree with your notion on that one, as they just can look for picks with it. Otherwise, they just have this Victor and Zaya as a stabilizer, so to say, as they don't want to get engaged on too hardly. But I mean, it's Ahri into Victor, a very good lane for the Ahri in the early game especially. But if that Victor gets to scale, if he gets to pick up his Glow's Evolution passive stacks, he can just be a menace in general and just control these huge zone areas and make Drake fights even easier for the side of MB Esports. And this might just be their way to go in this game, however, as we load onto the Rift and see the bot lane already fighting for this level 2 early on, or level 1 even maybe.
Immediate engage from Zodiac there. A little bit of damage onto Style, but obviously not enough of the follow-up. Xin doing the smart thing, going straight onto slows, making sure that he couldn't put too much hurt down onto Style in the super early. And we see that bot lane looks like it's not going to be the super focus this game, as both AD carries starting out with the Cole, just going, all right, we're going to chill for the first 10-15 minutes, get this stacked up, get our first item spikes a little bit quicker, and then we can look to do more things out and about on the map.
It always looks kind of awkward when Leona just engaged level 1, right? She either just hit the Centipede or just the Shield of Daybreak, right? And can't
It's
have
like
both.
Alistair.
So, yeah, she just goes in and does absolutely nothing, which is kind of funny to see. Either way, I think that's also like a funny mismatch with this Carl being on both ADCs, but they still just go ham at level 1, which is kind of something that...
It's VCS. I expect no
Yeah.
less from the VCS.
Yeah, and also another thing I noticed is like the difference in the jungle items, or even the fact that there is no difference. I mean, earlier in the day, everyone was picking like Bulbasaur, and now they all just went back to Squirtle, with both going the blue jungle item. I actually am very good with names usually, but I don't remember the jungle item names as of right now.
I know the green one's Moss Stomper. That's the one I know, and I can't remember the other two. So.
The red one is something
I love the fact that the Pokemon reference is more fun to me anyway, so I'm more than happy just calling the Squirtle. Like that's
it's better for the viewer and the caster and the players themselves. So
absolutely. Got a little bit of a pause, as is evidence below. Don't worry about it. I imagine if you've been around VCS for a while, you know that this happens all the time. And so Quincy.
Yeah, I mean, they got a new production company, so it was way worse in the past, and it was absolutely horrible in the first 1 or 2 days of the new production company that they got this split. But in general, it has been better. So I'm actually in high hope that we will get into this game pretty quickly, despite what we just now saw. But I mean, you never know for sure. So yeah, I'm up for anything at this point.
So, how do you expect this early game to play out, since we've got some spare minutes to chat going through these stages? You already said, despite the double call start, that both of these bot lanes, of course, can look to go quite aggressive, and these junglers, of course, are both ones that want to make things happen in the early game. Are you expecting there to be brawls bot side, despite what you would expect to be the more scaling-focused starting item pickups?
I mean, that's kind of like a paradox with Wukong in general. Like, he's not a good farming jungler, but he is a jungler that can counter gank to some extent. That's what I want to see maybe from Levi. If we see more of those, with both junglers jungling down towards the bot side of the map, Tomio might just be inclined to do more early game action, as he on the Lee Sin can do that pretty well, compared to the Wukong at least. And Levi, just as he knows that, probably wants to cover for it a little bit. He probably doesn't want to go for a jungle proactive gank himself. But for what he's doing right now makes a lot of sense. Tomio already being on this red buff. And Tomio is kind of the jungler that goes for these cheesy level 2 ganks even sometimes. This time he doesn't opt in for it, as he's now finishing his red buff and just paths towards mid lane instead this time.
So, Summer's not having a great time top lane. 4 CS to 18. Kiaya having complete free push in these early lanes. Knows that Lee Sin started towards the top side. Tomrio actually does show himself towards the bottom side of the map. Gets spotted out with that Scry's Bloom. Xin and Style should not be caught out by this. And, well, I was going to say 3 lanes of early pressure, but Slows and Zodiac were able to game prior towards the bot side. And obviously, Lee Sin also showing up down there means that GAM do have to relent a little bit on the early pressure. But we see Kiaya having the lion's share of top lane. We see Playcool pushing Nuga in, at least in these early stages. So, Early objectives should be GAM favored. That is Levi indeed showing himself towards the mid lane. Going to chunk about half of Nugu's health out. No need for flashes or anything. But Nugu has only just returned to lane with the teleport. So that damage will be quite meaningful. Potion has already been burned. If Playcool can keep taking aggressive trades, might be able to force him out of lane, force him to lose a wave or two.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the damage is certainly sticking, and both mid laners going for an early shove into teleport just means, of course, this damage meaning a little bit more as we would initially expect. But Nugu, I mean, gotta say, he played these early few levels quite well against Playcool. Maybe it's just the stage jitters of the rookie mid laner from GAM's side, as the Victor, I mean, in the RE not even favored in the slightest. But despite the gank, being up a full wave of CS is definitely speaking in his favor, and he, especially on the Victor, of course, with his Glorious Evolution passive, can just make all that much out of just getting a lot of farm going on. Needs his 100 stacks to upgrade the E, the death way, to have this additional priority power to just shove the wave in real quick and maybe even outrun the RE to some extent, which is, of course, very hard before that stage of the game, as he's now in a very good spot with this wave as well. I think Playcool might just need some help again here to really play against this push. But I mean, the wave is pushing it back to him, so he should be fine.
Playcool needs to keep an eye out, though. Tomrio did get spotted out on Vision. Zodiac also on the roam. And Playcool respectfully steps all the way back underneath his tower. Does not want to get caught out. Does not want to be made an example of in his first stage game of the split. I was going to say about looking towards the top side, Kiaya was only just taking the recall now. Sunma had already gone for the double Dorans setup, which is something that's relatively interesting to me at least. And Levi now will start to leverage the early lane pressure, get them started, get them stacking on those Drakes nice and early.
Yeah, just going for this quick Drake. And no response for the side of MGN Esports, and also to what happened to some in the top lane. He stabilized a little bit, is what I would say, as he's just now describing some of these CS waves. But the double Doran start is definitely something that surprises me as well. It's something that I don't often see. Might just be something to justify all the mana expenses coming through from this Malphite pickup to just get all this regeneration from the Doran swing being there. And he just went for the null magic mantle very early on to just nullify the cannon poke. And that's something that's kind of unusual for Malphite in general, but against the cannon, you just have to do it, I guess, to really just survive this lane at all, because cannon definitely wants to poke you all the time, and he's also just going the heavy AP mode, as any cannon would do.
As you say, oh my, hello. Playcool, playing it cool, finds himself a solo bolo in the mid lane. We'll get a replay of that, hopefully, in a couple of moments' time. What happened?
I mean, I saw as much as you did. Maybe observers can show that very soon. Either way, just
there we go.
Oh, he just spirit watched into his face and charmed into his face, and then just pressed all his buttons. And yeah,
what was that flash?
Chaos. And what's that Chaos Storm? I mean, he was hitting absolutely nobody with that, and he only had one opponent. So, yeah, just hard to play against the mobile Ari, and that's one of the things where Ari is just good against Victor, right? She just can hop around a lot, and Victor doesn't like that much. And Playcool for a rookie, that's one hell of a showing, and I'm a bit sorry for MGN Esports, and there was this one lane that was going well for them.
Well, Playcool still a little bit behind in CS, or at least was prior to that 1v1. Zodiac actually be able to find an angle onto Style here, but again, the jump forward comes in. Xin goes too far forwards, trying to peel for his carry, slows, and Zodiac will take that one down. You don't quite want the kill on the Leona, but I mean, I suppose a little bit of extra tankiness didn't hurt.
Kill is a kill, and also a whip perfect game for the side of GAM on this one. Either way, didn't really respect the level 6 power spike coming through for Slows, who was able to use the Featherstorm display. And I mean, of course, on GAM's side, you have to pause now. This is absolutely unacceptable. We dropped a kill for no reason. Xin didn't even get to flash in this instant as he was snared up. And yeah, now might just be the salty pause coming out. Either way, we don't actually know if it's a salty pause or anything. I don't want to go too deep into the interpretation of why there was a pause right now.
Disclaimer, every statement made by these casters is made purely for the sake of fun and not because we actually think people are getting tilted. It's like, oh no perfect game. FF go next, try and get a reset on the match. No. Playing at this level, obviously, there is a certain degree of there's this thing. It's called competitive integrity. And very important to be very important that is the teams, obviously, they want to win. They want to win fairly because, I mean, what's the point in wins gained through nefarious means? Actually, then again, this my mind jumps back to various different match fixing things, but those are in different regions. Has anything like that ever happened in the VCS? I don't know.
Probably, yes. Yeah, I think they
It's
actually
probably
have,
somewhere.
but I don't want to reward the players who did it, like with mentioning the names. I mean, that's a thing of the
No.
past, and of course the new VCS. I mean, since I joined the VCS as a caster, this hasn't happened. So I think maybe I was the difference maker. Either way, don't want to reward myself too much with that one, as the technical pause is still ongoing, of course. And I mean, the game state, I think overall, I would say it's kind of okay for Box. I'm just a bit worried
It's
at
not
the mid lane solo
horrendous.
kill. Yeah, it's not horrendous. I mean, this bot lane 2v2 kill might just keep their hopes alive, so to say. And Malphite falling down something as a cannon. I mean, we knew that even
It's
post
gonna
draft
happen.
already. It just happens, and it doesn't matter the bigger picture. If it stays like that, right? The Malphite, even if he is down 250 CS, he can still just press ult, right?
That's exactly why tanks are just so nice. Love them up on the weak side island. They can fall as far behind as they like, as long as they don't drop like 4 kills. Then you're gonna be fine. As you said, like things like the Ornn, like the Malphite, you can press R and you will have had a notable impact on the team fight as long as you haven't sent it to Narnia.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm also on the side of this Victor pickup, right? I mean, got solo kill, but still is farming nicely. I mean, that's also kind of speaking at least
Scale up.
not too much against them. I mean, yeah, I mean, just needs to get this E upgrade, and he will be fine in that regard. And bot lane also working for them. This is not a horrible early game from Box Esports, as we keep on watching exactly that early game. With GAM, of course, they got this first Hextech break. I think that was kind of unnecessary that it was just dropped without any even bit of contest for the side of MBE Box Esports, and they weren't even that pushed in. But either way, they just now get into a Swift level, but this might be a bad call.
Tomrio was immediately there on spawn, so fair play to the man. But unfortunately, we saw Zin come into mid lane. Playcool was able to get the push, the first roam out. Sunma is looking to step forward, flash into the unstoppable force, gets the kill onto Levi. The eye is given across as well, and it's chaos in the topside river. Star trying to flash forwards. That's a double kill for Nugu on the triple. Picked up as well. Chaos and decimation as Playcool will try and play forwards, grab another one. Is able to take down Tomrio, but that's 3 kills onto the Victor that got solo killed a couple of minutes ago. That is 75 stacks on Glorious Evolution, just nonchalantly handed across in the river.
Yeah, he just got E upgrade just based on that alone, right? 75 stacks plus that wave might just be 80 for that, but here we see the replay of that one. Actually, it was Sunma on the Malphite stealing away that Rift. I want to see it was the ult itself. It was the ult itself, 30 HP or something, and he just gets
Oh no, Levi!
He's being decent, and the Chaos Storm cleaning up 1 kill. Style, yeah, diving into the pit, but he can't really do much except for dying over there. And Kiaya tries to do his best with the Slicing Maelstrom, but ultimately also falls to the machine herald that Victor really is. And I mean, this might just be Victor off to a great start. Nugu now with 3 kills in his back pocket. I mean, that's not just a lot of stacks for him, but also a lot of gold. I mean, he's almost up on his way to complete this Luden's Tempest, as well as the penetration boots he already has, and he's off to an excellent start right now. And now Box Esports against GAM of all teams with a decisive lead.
With 3 for 1 and taking the Herald away from that fight feels kind of illegal. In fact, the fact that some even got that is kind of insane to me, but that does indeed put MGN Box Esports in a fantastic position in this early game, although Nugu now having to respect the fact that Levi did show up towards the bot side. Meanwhile, though, 3 people go down. Zin is just casually chilling in the mid lane, and Style will be left to the Wolves. Herald will be dropped in the bot lane as well. I don't know if it'll be enough to take the full tower. Levi and Zin are kind of zooming their way down here. They will have to extricate themselves from that situation, but that's still a lot of gold, a lot of plates into the pockets of MGN.
And actually about to start, but here you see in the replay quickly, I will just catch him out with the Solar Flare, and I mean, it's not a Zarya, it is a Zevi, can't just Featherstorm away.
No sums,
just easily
no
hope. Yeah, no sums, no hope. Yes, it's that. And we see in the live play, there has been some action happening, but actually not that much. And it was not just a kill on style, but just 4 platings falling down with that Herald push. GAM, however, is on the way to get this second dragon. And I'm kind of disappointed by that because MBE kind of had their cake in 82 in this last Herald fight, and they still just let all these little chances really slip away with them maybe losing this Drake. I mean, they kind of are in position now to really be strong in this game, and they respect GAM a tad too much is what I feel like.
Yeah, it feels like a good exploitation of the situation from GAM Esports there. We see NBA taking the reset after getting that play towards the bottom side. GAM go, all right, well, they're not on the map. We are. Let's just take that Drake while there's nothing else to be done. We are onto the Chemtech Rift. Levi does not seem to want to give up his blue buff here, but it will have to happen. 3 people in that bot side jungle. Playcool being zoned out of the bot side. Solar Flare is dodged away from, keeping it cool. And we'll be able to step away from this one. Levi looking towards Zodiac, but we'll be able to wander away.
Yeah, just some chances taking with that Solar Flare, but at least a deep invade for the jungle to just cyberbull Levi out a little bit more. And Playcool taking a lot of chunks from this Victor. I mean, Victor just kind of showing off at least.
I can't imagine Playcool is too happy right now. It's like, what the hell, guys? I solo killed this dude, and you give him 3 kills at the Herald?
And that's pre-Luden's completion, by the way. I mean, it won't get better in the near future, so definitely enjoy life.
Playcool is 2-0 himself, has just gone back, finished off the Everfrost. I exist on a certain Ari player's Discord, and I swear that man dies inside every time dies inside a little bit every time we see Everfrost on Ari. But
#justice
in this game, I mean, in this game, I suppose it makes a little bit of sense. We've already got a lot of setup, a lot of damage potential coming through with Kiaya on that cannon. And if Everfrost can lock people in the Slicing Maelstrom for a little bit longer, it's good stuff. Good job, guys, you did it.
Yeah, also I'm just going this non-magic mantle pretty early on because he was so annoyed by all that poke coming through from this Victor. I kind of understand it, but either way, if it will be the Mercs RV, I think especially Alex won't be happy about it. Either way, he's not in the cast, so doesn't matter in the bigger picture. Speaking of that one though, Slows just now finished his call and Style his as well. I mean, there was a slight delay on Styles one, but at the end, it didn't matter too much either way. And now the thing like with Box Esports in general, right? I mean, they have this good early game right now. They still gave GAM 2 Drakes so far, and I think they should just be pushing for more. I mean, they are strong right now. They should look for all these fights, like this invade they did on Levi early on. I want to see more of that because this is like, you need to win those kind of games. If you can't win even those kind of games, what do you even expect to win?
Absolutely, and the fact that we've got their scaling element in Nugu already heavily accelerated. You're already playing a fairly mid-game composition. Lee Sin is going to want to try and make things happen in the mid-game. Malphite is designed that he kind of can't not make things happen. We've already got Nugu, as I said, accelerated, and Xayah spikes a lot earlier than Zeri does in this game. So we are at a very big power point right now for the side of MGN Box Esports, and I absolutely agree. They need to make things happen. The second Rift Herald is just about to spawn onto the map. We see pretty much the entirety of Box towards this top side right now. So they do agree. It's like, all right, guys, we gave up the first 2 Drakes. It's all good, though. We're going to get the second Herald, and we'll continue to control the game from there.
Yeah, I mean, just the second Herald being done on spawn at the first one. Not this time, however, not with a huge fight enveloping from that one. Very sad for them, of course, to see as currently, but now they would probably just easily win those fights against GAM. Even with the mechanical powers of GAM, this should be doable for them as they defend this mid lane push coming through from Playcool. The waves being shoved down. They traded for this bot lane tier 1 turret, which is, of course, something that's kind of inevitable, right? They put so many members on towards that Herald side of the map and will hopefully make good use of a Herald charge to deny something from Kiaya, who so far has had a quiet early game, I gotta say. He just, one lane against the Malphite, then had one Maelstrom, and that didn't lead to all too much, just fed a kill to Nugu. And Kiaya,
kind of impressive, though, kind of impressive that Box got both of the early Heralds, and it's still GAM that get first turret by leaving Style towards the bot side. Just, all right, I'm gonna sit here. I'm going to push in waves, and because Slows isn't around, Slows actually just get caught out, has to flash away, but the Featherstorm will not keep him safe. Zodiac now the target, and that's 2 kills handed right across to GAM in the mid lane. They pounce, and they will find their prey.
Yeah, they find their prey. Slows even tried to use everything to get out of this one. We see how far he was pushed up, but he was kind of alone. Zodiac even gets to delay the enemy champions from GAM. But I mean, Flash, Gale Force, Feather Storm, not enough to get all this barrage from GAM, stopping from rolling over them, and Slow's now giving away another kill. Zodiac also falling down, and you just addressed it, but with this first turret, this was also kind of maybe even an oversight on Box Esports side. Should have maybe put one member down to this bot lane to defend this push while they are doing the Herald, to prevent first turret from falling down. And now they're in this position, right? I mean, they are strong right now, but they still lose these small skirmishes, lose the third Drake in a row, and that definitely is an oversight overall, with GAM getting way too much in a supposedly bad early game for them.
This is where we start to get a little bit concerned, because one more bad fight, especially in, I don't know, if we say in 4 minutes, 30 seconds, another fight happens and it goes badly for MGN Box Esports. Suddenly, GAM have a Chemtech Soul. Like, it's not... Actually, no, Chemtech Soul is one of the most busted ones. Just imagine, okay, we're going to take a team fight, and as soon as any of them hit 50% health, they're suddenly doing, was it 10% more, was it 11% more damage and taking 11% less damage?
Thank you for asking. I know it. It's 10% more damage taken, and 10% less damage taken, and 10% more damage dealt while you are below 50% HP. So even many casters and many players even say that it's actually the worst soul. But I gotta say, every soul is pretty strong. First of all,
yeah,
and I mean,
it's the worst of the souls.
If you get one shot, yeah, it's useless if you get one shot, just like Ocean Soul. But when can you realistically completely one shot a champion? It usually doesn't happen, right? I mean, and still a very broken soul. I mean, if you just get it onto, like, for example, Style, but he has a shield bow even to prevent from getting one shot, and then he just deals 10% damage more, life steals more, takes 10% damage less, you just can't kill this Zeri anymore all of a sudden. And especially like Box Esports, like their engage relies on just instantly blowing up one target with the Malphite and the follow-up of that one, and if that doesn't kill the target, your engage just kind of puffs away, and then GAM can just win this teamfight front to back with the soul alone. So definitely Box Esports now has to be very cautious and not give away a single Drake at all in this game. However, on the plus side for them, they cracked this inhibitor turret to at least some extent. It is pretty low, so if they win this decisive teamfight, they can just easily end the game.
Absolutely, and it may be a case that perhaps MGN Box Esports call GAM's bluff a little bit. We've got Baron obviously coming up in just under a minute and a half's time. There is the potential angle, as you say, that there's a low health inhibitor turret. If GAM commit too hard to get the soul, and say Summer goes and prevents backs, then MGN Box could look for a very cheeky backdoor angle, try and finish out the game that way. Although that would require that's a balls of steel play if I've ever heard of it. Because if that goes wrong, you've suddenly just given soul across to GAM, and if you're in the enemy base and not ending the game, you're probably losing. And if you're losing, you're probably losing badly. So you've given soul and basically balanced out the gold, presumably, by losing that. So yeah, high risk, and I mean, winning the game is a pretty high reward, but the balancing of the risk there would have to be on point for MGN Box if they wanted to try and make that play.
I mean, we have seen crazier things in the VCS, and in general, I mean, maybe that's like an angle to go for these kind of plays, especially if you are like the heavy underdog, right? I mean, speaking of Box Esports, they haven't won a single game this split so far, and they kind of got stolen this one win away from Second Buffalo, where it was just one good team fight, even with them having soul, and they ultimately lost it. So maybe even they could even out team fight the soul. When we just know address the points, it's kind of not speaking in their favor at all if they have to rely on this blowing up one target instantly with the Malphite plus follow-up combination. Either way of that, I mean, the inside track on the mid lane is something that teams, especially in these regions where the macro isn't that proficient, can sometimes ignore, and it might just be you give away the soul, don't even deny it back, and just straight up run away to the base, or even just one teamfight win for Box would just ultimately be the doom of GAM. But speaking of GAM in general, right, it's still only 1k gold deficit. I mean, it was kind of detrimental like 10 minutes ago, but this gold lead never extended. GAM still just got to scale next to Box Esports, and even got to pick up these Drakes all the time. So overall, I think they are more than fine, especially with them stabilizing mentally from all this chunk from the Herald fight that went on earlier. And now Box, early on, starting this Baron. I'm not sure if they just ran out of ideas, but I like it right now because GAM doesn't seem to have an instant reaction
base. They peel off, but
They
I
seem
kind of
so
wish that they
distinct.
continued for that.
And
the
Nugu TP to
teleport.
mid lane tier 1? Yeah, like, are they talking to each other? Hello?
Has a little bit of lagging voice going on there. I'm so confused why MGN pulled off that. Because GAM
Yeah,
was still coming out of base at that point. I don't think that their vision was particularly well set up. And now we've suddenly got a situation where 4 members of GAM shoving in mid lane. Kiaya is looking for a flank angle. He is being pinged. So MGN Box definitely know that he is around. Sunma will go a rat hunting in the jungle here. The rest of MGN Box need to get in, and they need to get in now as GAM is already bursting down the Drake.
Yeah, and they can just easily start it. I mean, even they can just easily go for the flip as well. I mean, if they lose this Drake, not the end of the world. If they get this Drake, they basically just almost won the game off of that one alone. And then the Drake gets a soft reset right now. But here's the
Flash
flank.
forward, jumping forward. Style will get bursted down and taken out. The fight will start in earnest. However, Nuga gets caught out. Fantastic flank coming through from Kiaya, locking up most of the members of MGN Box Esports. Unfortunately, there is the gold difference coming forwards. With only one person getting bursted down, the chase coming out. Play cool, trying to play it cool, get out, flash out. Tomrio on the chase. Zodiac and Slows in following as well. Summer is going to go for the back here in the fight. Consistent. The fight convincingly won by MGN Box Esports. I would love to see that again because Kiaya got the fantastic flank and it seemed like the follow-up damage just wasn't there.
That was the case, and also here we see again how it fell out. Look at what Styles really doing, or even doesn't get to do, and Sunma's Malphite ultimate will be coming out right away, and see the Flash ultimate just instantly gets Style, nobody else, but that's enough, right? I mean, you get Style, doesn't get to press any button, no ult, no flash, no nothing, and without Style, this
Everybody gets out.
Unplayable. Slows is also just kiting around with his feathers on the Zarya, and nobody can really touch him. Kiaya's flank wasn't bad at all. I mean, they got Nugu in the end, but even like the dead Victor still has a Chaos Storm lingering around, and you still just can't completely ignore it. And with that, Box Esports win this fight 3-1, get the Drake as well. Of that, they can't take the Baron with Nugu being down, but still huge win for them, especially against a top team. And they at least, I mean, they double negotiate from 1 to 2k at this point of the game, not really meaning all too much, but I mean, just denying this soul and also getting at least their first Drake on the map is a huge win for them.
The flank angle for Kiaya was fantastic. But when it came through, when the Slicing Maelstrom came through, everyone scattered from MGN Box Esports. Slows was able to get away. Tomrio was able to evade most of the damage. Summer was tanky enough that he could just get through most of it. We are seeing a Malphite who has built pretty much entirely magic resist this game. Has only just finished the Jack show for himself.
Not a single armor item, and he's Malphite.
This is anathema. This is antithetical to the design of the champion. But it's working for Summer in this game. Zin now being forced to use the quickness TP coming out from Summer from the bottom lane. Tomrio still going forwards into 3. The confidence is showing for the side of MGN Box Esports as Tomrio basically alone forces 3 members out of the top lane, and they are going to start off the Baron Quincy.
And Kiaya is on the bot side. He has his TP up, and they will definitely force this one out on the side of Box Esports. And we just saw Tomrio being the battle rod. Levi is around. They need to take care of him.
There is the TP from Kiaya.
Don't flip this Baron. You need to take care of Kiaya first.
They step away. Baron is starting to heal back up. It looks like they're going to try and find the angle towards Kiaya. I think this cannon is potentially fast enough to get out. Sunma is looking for the unstoppable force. Will be able to find it. Slicing Maelstrom will not do a thing. This rock has built a whole bunch of magic resist. He may as well be made of Petrosite this game. And will be able to get the kill. However, GAM step into the mid lane, will pick up that tier 2 turret. And now as for stepping into the river, looking to contest this Baron once again.
Yeah, now Box will start off the Baron once again. With this tier 2 turret being traded, it's actually kind of a small win for GAM, I gotta say.
Really cool looking, trying to find the Everfrost. Charm lands onto Summer, and that rock is crumbling down. Levi gets the engage going forwards as well. Playcool trying to step it forwards, takes a large chunk of damage. Tomrio looking for the damage. Slows is going to be able to take down Style. The chase coming through. It's a double kill picked up for Playcool to the backside. 3 members still looking, still searching, but the rest of GAM are already out. Levi going a little bit aggressive over the wall there. We'll have to sacrifice a blue buff, but that is not that much of a price to pay as GAM go 2 for 2 and importantly stop the Baron from being taken.
Yeah, and GAM is very, very happy with that. Even with Style kind of choking these last two team fights with not really getting to use his flash at all. Here we see again how it played out. It was Box Esports taking the Baron, and here Playcool, the rookie mid laner, finding the pick, good charm onto Sunma, and he has a lot of MR. We said that over and over again, but still overall the damage is still there to kill off this Malphite. And in this choke point, they kill Style pretty quickly. No really a good escape for them. And as Tombio dies, the Baron cannot ever be secured, especially against Levi. So Box has to just pull away from the objective, and GAM wins more time, even is back in the gold lead as of that play alone with this tier 2 turret. Yeah, being a lot of standing gold that they got to pick up earlier. And this DP situation for Kiaya kind of being resolved right now. GAM can just maybe flip this next Drake and maybe they win this time.
The fights have been looking pretty good for them, despite the disadvantage they are at. Ultimates are coming back up right now. GAM looking for the pick angle. Style and Zin hovering off to the side. They do get spotted out. Where is Playcool? He's over towards the blue buff right now. So GAM don't want to take a fight. They're currently 4v5 as MGN Box Esports will push in the mid lane wave. Just going to be caught. GAM don't want to have to deal with such a pressure deficit towards the mid lane. Tomrio jumps away from the charm. MGN will have the inside line on this Drake, but GAM do not look like they want to give this one up. They do want to claim the soul for themselves, but it is getting absolutely melted.
Well, now they have vision. Levi is there. Oh, it was so close.
Nearly.
It shouldn't have been so close.
The catch comes forward. Zodiac forced to flash away. GAM look like they will have to walk away empty-handed. MGN Box Esports will pick up their second Chemtech Drake.
Yeah, they pick up the second Chemtech Drake. Levi had the chance to steal it. It would have been sold for GAM, so it was way riskier than it ever should have been. Either way, GAM scrapping their losses and just instantly pull the Baron. And they have the better vision control over that. Box has to react.
There's no vision.
But Box is not reacting to it. I mean, this should be obvious.
There is no vision.
You just check this. Yeah, no vision at all. And you see they are all out of vision. So guess where they are? They are the Baron.
Give it up.
That's such a huge oversight. I'm angry at
that. That is criminal from MGN Box Esports. They walk in, they take a Drake for free, and they let GAM walk up, take the Baron from under their noses, and suddenly the gold balloons in their disadvantage. Now GAM is the one who is up 2,000 gold. It is GAM who have the Baron. It is GAM who is now running the Rift.
Yeah, it's as sad as it sounds, kind of the difference between a good team and a not so good team, right? I mean, the good team, if they get the lead, they just destroy you, rip open the game, and just completely dismantle you within 20 or 25 minutes. And Box, even with that huge gift that they got at this first Herald, never really got to really balloon the lead over, and now just sees their lead just plummeting away and just giving GAM way too much when they definitely shouldn't have gotten so. I mean, we talked about it earlier with them respecting them too much, and here they just see them all pulling away from the Drake, and they got it even, and then GAM just rushed on the Baron with no vision being whatsoever in the area for Box. I mean, first of all, why is there no vision? Second of all, if they all just walk to the Baron area where you have no vision, you just have to expect them to be there, and just giving them the Baron for absolutely nothing is a huge oversight by them, and it's kind of why GAM is also winning so many games, right? Even though those dirty, bad games for them, they still might end up winning those ones, and that's because they are in a position where they know when to scrap the losses and when to really go for these huge objectives, as they just now got this Baron, and with that they are back in control of the game.
Shoving in the bot lane right now, Style gonna knock this turret down, and Tomrio does not have Dragon's Rage available because he tried to use it to catch Kiaya top lane, didn't manage to do anything with that one. Most perplexing to me, Quincy, is there was no fight at the Drake. GAM never committed, no ultimates were committed to the fight. MGN Box Esports went, alright, we've got the Drake, cool, let's reset, let's play the map. And with all their ultimates available, just walked away and let GAM take the Baron. There was no contest, there was no attempt at a contest, because, as you say, absolutely zero vision.
There might be, though.
There might be a catch indeed. Levi is going to be chased forward. Sunma looking to get that one down, but he's leaving Style untouched. He's going to open up Zin, takes down Sunma. Kiaya forced to use the Slicing Maelstrom and get away, but Tomrio is going to be left alone. And Playcool will be able to take that one down. One kill gets traded back, but it's not going to be enough for slows. And just like that, it looked so good for MGN Box Esports, but one blundered Baron will buy GAM a free win in this game. They will close it with aplomb in 30 minutes. How was this? 3 minutes after finding themselves in the gold lead, the game ends. And I think that is perhaps